beautiful souls out there. I hope you're getting out in nature like, see, I'm out in nature like Starlight is. And so anyway, I love you, and I don't know where all of you live that watch my YouTube channel. You know, so a lot of you I've met in person. Some of you want to meet Starlight, but we haven't met yet. It's not, you know, it's got to line up when the universe is ready for all that. So anyway, I love you all. And also I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have been here. I'll tell you what, I appreciate all of you who have been here for a long time. You know, I try all kinds of stuff to try to, no, I don't try to get you out of here. I want you to feel like family here, and I want you to feel not too comfortable, because that's not how you're going to grow, right? So it's not about feeling comfortable, it's about getting uncomfortable. That's when growth is going to happen. So anyway, I love you all, and a big huge thank you to all of you who have been here all this time, cheering Starlight on. I guess some cheerleaders out there that are here loving and supporting Starlight. Plus, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who've just joined me, and you know, from beginning all the way until now. Maybe you just subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you to all of you who just subscribed to my YouTube channel recently. And a big huge thank you to all of you who like my videos, watch my videos, and who subscribe, plus leave a message or even share my videos. And those of you who push the notification bell, that way you don't miss a thing. And it's so important. You never know what Starlight is going to say, and what kind of gems there are throughout my videos, and what kind of help you can get. So nothing happens by accidents, and there's no coincidences, you know. So if you push this button on this video, it was meant for you to hear. It might not be for you, but it might be something that you can help somebody else in their life with. So I love you so much, and if anyone would love to send any love donations to Starlight, you can through my Cash App on my YouTube channel, and I will have that information here. Ping! There it is. Plus, also, you could check, let me think. Yeah, so that's it. Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, don't forget you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, plus give me a thumbs up, and you can also leave a message down below, beep, beep, beep. And you can share my videos with your family, your friends. Don't forget to ring the notification bell, and you can check out my playlist. Plus, you can find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. Today is your voice needs to be heard, and I am so serious about this. Your voice needs to be heard. You know, a lot of you probably think or believe that you don't have nothing to share. But see, that's a program that you've been, you know, programmed to think. And not all your thoughts are your own. So you got to watch out for that. Some of the thoughts are your own, but not all the thoughts are your own. You know, so we got to let go of those old programs of saying that I don't have anything to share, because we all have something. We all have gone through something in our life. And some of you might be afraid to share what you got to share, you know, with your journey in life, the things you've experienced, things that even people would think you're crazy. And I'll tell you what, I've put some crazy ass stories on my YouTube channel, but guess what? They're true stories. You know, Starlight would like to make a movie out of some of them because they're that crazy, you know, wild and weird and true. So this video I'm making because now if you didn't check this video out, if there's a way I can do this, I have to learn how to do this. I just made a video out yesterday, and I'm just trying to think of the title. I'll have to think about that, what the title is about. So my video yesterday that I put out, and it was about Starlight, going to a food pantry, and there was somebody rude. It wasn't the food pantry, but it was where a food pantry is located for the showers, So that video, you kind of have to watch that video first in order to know, because I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but some crazy ass thing happened yesterday, a true story. So I will put the title of that video here, and so sorry because Starlight's been congested so much. It does mess with my thoughts, and my memory and stuff like that. But yesterday, Starlight had somebody that was very, not just yesterday, but a couple of times going to take a shower, where they help the homeless people to take showers, where somebody was rude, and I had to use my voice. I had to, say something and stand up for myself. So I will have that video title here, so you're going to really want to check that out, so then you understand what I'm talking about here. And I have to say, the universe, God, has put me on this mission here, put me through some stuff, not to hurt me, but to help me so I can heal. That's what this has been about. And the more I go through different things, I never know what is the universe, what's gonna happen, I'm not thinking like that, but the universe is always full of surprises, getting us to see how much we have to get healed. And what I was told a long time ago, and I was so surprised, it says this man, which was is my mentor, Infinite Waters Ralph Smart, says it takes longer for you to heal than when you went through the stuff that you went through, that you got to get healed, because there's everything from, like with Starlight, it's before I even got born, sorry about that. So even in my mother's womb, shit started in my life, where some of you might have had a really loving, caring mom that really took care of you, made sure you weren't drinking alcohol or doing drugs, but not all mothers are like that. So the healing for Starlight starts in the womb with my mother. That's where my healing starts, is, and because we do, as babies, we carry a lot of stress from our mother, for the stress that she's going through, and it goes in, we're feeding off of her, eating, and when she's nervous, the baby knows this. I do that when I was pregnant with my kids. If I was stressed out, the baby was reacting to the stress that I was dealing with. If I was relaxed and happy, hey, the baby's all nice and happy, oh, Starlight, I could easily, let's see, Starlight's I could definitely, so Starlight is, so Starlight would love to have a baby. So Starlight, if I was stressed out, my baby felt the stress that I was going through, even after the baby gets out and the mommy or the daddy is holding the baby, no matter who it is, if they are stressed out and their nerves are all messed up, the baby senses it too. And it affects us. That's why they cry a lot. They're like, oh, I don't like that feeling. They know. So Starlight's like, I know this is kind of a chunky baby, but so you got to take good care of your baby inside. So anyway, it's kind of funny. So Starlight's is gonna, it's a boy. You can already tell this one's a boy. So look at that. Starlight's pregnant. It's a boy. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna name this baby, but so look at that triangle. So it's so babies go through stuff before they even get born, depending on what the mother is going through. So it does take a long time to heal, and we've been programmed to believe a bunch of shit, Most of the stuff that we've been taught or, told is a lie. So it's like, gotta start all over. But anyway, I'm sorry, my nose is so clogged right now. But anyway, but that's not what this is about. I just want to let you know, depending on who is watching this video, kind of break everything down so you understand, like, how long it takes to get healed. So that's what the universe does with Starlight is like the story that I put out yesterday about what happened, at the food pantry for taking a shower. Simple little thing, think, oh yeah, this should be, in and out kind of thing. But anyway, because of that, is that it triggered so many things in my day yesterday. It really did. I was doing all these things to release that, let it go. I wanted to meditate, but my head was so like in shock for what was going on, but I needed to go through this. I needed to experience what the universe was going to teach me. Sorry, this baby is a little deformed, but so I needed to experience that time there at the food pantry, to take a shower, because little did I know that there was things in my past, and we all are guilty of this. I believe we all have been guilty of this. Okay, you ready? Is seeing something or going through something, but we don't say shit about it. You could have gone through something in your past, your lifetime somewhere, from a kid to now, or you could have gone through something yourself where somebody could have done something to you or did something that you witnessed something, and so either you experienced something, you got it. This is stuff that absolutely. It's not hearing it from the grapevine kind of crap. No, it's stuff that you absolutely know for a fact that it happened. It's not hearing gossip and drama, and by the time you get the information, it's blown out of proportion. It's crazy. By the time you get the information, the story got added. Things got added into that story. That's why gossiping is not a good thing, is because people will add to the story. They didn't quite hear it right, they didn't know what it really, and so you got to be careful with that. That's why it's so good not to do that. And we're always going to be, there's going to be somebody out there, especially people that are close to us, that are going to, they're going to try to say something. They're like, hey, I'm sorry, but I can't get into that because it's all drama, gossiping, and all that stuff. I'm sorry, but I got to let that go. But yesterday is that Starlight had a hard time letting go of what happened. And I thought, well, I just want to forget about it. I just want to let it go. And I said it, a guy actually I talked to after the whole incident, and he's like, hey, yeah, I want to talk to you. So I had to wait like 12 minutes plus for him to take a shower and to talk to him, see what he had to say. I thought maybe God's got me, maybe this is something that God is doing. So I always want to be mindful, because that's what I'm doing here, I'm like an on-call nurse, but like I'm on call to be of service, to help anyone out, and so that is why I was waiting for this man, to get his shower done and to be able to talk to him. So, but throughout the day, and I told him I didn't even gossip about anything. I didn't bring any, I talked to him right after, and I could have in my past time, I would have been like, oh man, I can't believe how this guy, he treated me all like this. I would have been like, oh my, you don't even know what he did last week. He did all this stuff last week. He said all this stuff. He was really rude. But I didn't, I just said, hey, I just had to use my voice, and I left it at that. And I said, and now I got to let it go. But it wasn't that easy to just let it go, because there was a reason why God had this happen in the first place. Because there's stuff that I needed to heal from my past, and I didn't know it. So all day yesterday, I'm like, I am releasing anything in my energy that is no longer serving me, and I'm sending it back to its rightful owner. I did all these things, trying to release this person, not to let them affect me, but that person just was locked, like in my headspace, and the reason why is because the reason why this was bothering me so bad is because in my past, I've been guilty many times. I witnessed things that happened, and I witnessed it, not from a third party or anything like that, of abuse. Now there's times I did report abuse, and this is what happens to a lot of us. You could have worked for a company like I did a long time ago about, I worked for handicapped people, and there was abuse left and right all the time. You know, you got training, you know, like I don't know how many weeks of training, paid training, you know, and they made it sound like so important. You better report abuse or you could lose your job. If somebody witnesses that you saw abuse and you didn't make any report of it, you could get fired. And it was like, wow, they are really serious about this thing. And it was a serious thing because the handicapped people, they can't defend themselves. And I had a sister that was handicapped, so that she went through abuse growing up, you know. And so that's why I wanted this job. I love those people because I had family members that had, you know, some kind of form of disability, you know, in their life, blind or maybe learning skill, you know, not really being educated, you know, so, or handicapped, you know. So I had the love, and I took care of my sister like it was my own baby, which a lot of times I called her my daughter, not even realizing it's my sister, you know. So anyway, with what happened yesterday at the shower place at the food pantry, it was bringing a lot of shit up. But this is how God does things. God wanted that stuff to come up. And what was coming up, Starlight? Well, it was times that I didn't say shit about stuff. Men and women can be guilty of this. If somebody did something to you, and women, I'm going to prepare you for this because I know how what I'm going to say can trigger people. And I'm not here to trigger you, but I'm just going to say it, is that, and this happens with men too, is like sexual harassment or rape. You know, those are like, you know, rape would be like one of the, it's a really bad thing that happened, where there's a lot of women like Starlight did not report the rape. So this is why God was bringing this up, is because you wonder why things repeat itself over and over again. If we all spoke up and got connected to the right kind of people and said, hey, you know, you could be a child and somebody could be abusing you, and when you go to school, that's a time that you can tell somebody. But sometimes those kids are threatened at home, because I know this is that they were threatened at home. If you ever say a freaking word of what I do here at the house, you think you got beat. You know, the last time you wait, I'll really freaking beat your ass. So there are people that put fear in their kids, so when they go to school, they don't want to say anything because they don't know how this whole thing works. Then there's some people that abuse their kids, but they don't send them to school, like, because I came from a cult church, and that's what they did, because they were beating their kids with rods and they had marks all over their back end. So they were keeping them out of the school so nobody would know, and they had their bodies covered up so nobody could see it out in public, you know. So what happened to me yesterday, even the week before, of somebody being really rude to me and saying shit that, you know, it wasn't the, you know, you don't know me, you know, is that it brought up other stuff that I needed to face. And so that's why I couldn't let it go yesterday, because you know what? I wasn't thinking about myself. That's the whole point. I wasn't thinking about Starlight. I was thinking about all the homeless people that go to the same place, and that this man could sit there and do that to them. If I didn't say anything and I just let it slide, you know, because it was 2 times that he was rude to me, is that by me not using my voice, then it can get repeated. This guy could do this to other women, or do this to other men that go there. They just want to go take a shower. Can I please have a 12-minute shower here without being harassed? I'm being funny. I say that, but I'm being serious at the same time. Sorry, my sinuses are so clogged up. So that is why I'm making this video. Is there was times in my past, like I said, there was things that I went through as a child. I never reported it. I went to school. My teacher knew that there was shit going on at the house. He knew. He was studying me. He was having me write special homework, you know, like school assignments in school. you know, journaling and stuff. I had these books that never went home. Those books didn't go home. They stayed in the classroom, you know, because they get trained how to see abuse in these children, you know. And so I never reported any of the abuse when I was growing up. And if I did report abuse to a family member, it freaking hit me in the face. That's why I ended up running away later on. I didn't really run away. It just happened to be that I was not in the house and never came back. I was planning on running away because I felt hated. I didn't feel loved, you know. So we need to speak up when we see something. So sorry, my nose is so clogged right now. Wonder why I can't meditate right now. So is we need to speak up. It could be you right now. You could be a child, you know, maybe the parents left the living room, you know, and you're just sitting there watching Starlight, you know, making this video. If there's abuse going on, you need to find somebody that is safe, that's not connected to your parents, and you need to let them know what's going on. If somebody's doing something that you feel hurt, you know, it makes you sad, you are afraid of those people, you need to speak up and tell somebody so you can get the kind of help, and those people can get help. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't want to say anything about my parents because I was like, who's going to feed me? Starlight always wants to eat, you know? Who's going to take care of me if they take my parents away? That's a good point, right? So who's gonna be there for Starlight, you know? I love my parents. You know, it's crazy. So it was a lesson for me yesterday, and a test from God, is I needed to say something, not for myself, because I did say something. I couldn't sleep last night. All night I tossed and turned thinking about the homeless people. It wasn't about Starlight. Just like if a girl gets raped and she never speaks up. And there's women that don't speak up because they could have gone through this before. And if the police department don't do their job like they're supposed to, and they laugh at it like they did with Starlight a long time ago, they laughed at it when I reported, you know, the police in that town were corrupt. They weren't guilty of doing shit in that town. So then you learn, hey, I'm not going to go to the cops because what they did to me before made me feel worse. You know, it would have been better I never even said anything. But then you're not helping other women or men to protect them, because if you make a report and then some other girl or guy goes through, you know, they make the same report, well, now it's kind of getting kind of weird, isn't it? You know, just like on the Hollywood stuff, there's a lot going on right now with the Hollywood stars that things are coming out in the open, so people know what these the people that worship these Hollywood stars, that they can say, oh my, look at all these people, these really uppity up people from the Hollywood stars. And my heart goes out to these girls that were so young, that went through that horrible experience, and what it had to be like for them to open up and expose themselves by, you know, like opening up that world. That takes bravery, because I know when I got raped years ago, is I was calling the cops up a lot about different things, and they weren't doing shit about it. So it's like, well, you know, out here they haven't done shit. And I knew how everything was going to get twisted. I knew, you know, but, you know, I love these homeless people out here. And so Starlight did. I actually made a report on this to the people that actually, these people do a wonderful job. They're all around the United States, different, this church organization out there, New York, you know, they're all over. They do a lot of wonderful things, you know, helping families out, homeless people out. I've never, you know, they need to know this, because then they could take care of the problem instead of letting it go. This is why a lot of things repeat itself all through society, all through, you know, the whole world. It's because people see stuff and they don't report it. Just like, and you know what? That's why I couldn't get this off my mind all day and through the night. I mean, like, how many times did Starlight think of this? What to do? What is the right thing to do? I just wanted to do the right thing. What is the right thing to do? The right thing to do was to put myself out there and do my part. And the people were so amazing. They heard it. They said, I'm sorry that you went through that. That should not, that's not what we love these homeless people. You know, we got training coming up, you know, like how to interact with people that are homeless. So I don't know if these people went through training yet, though. So, but either way, after that, you know what? I was able to think. It was really a painful experience because it triggered up so many things from my childhood, memories at times that I didn't speak up. And there's times I spoke up, even when I worked for a company, but they didn't do their job. I spoke up because handicapped people were being abused. We need to speak up, you know, and I'm so sorry my nose is so clogged. Don't keep quiet because you're helping other people. You're going to help stop the problems instead of let it just slide and just let them get away with it. And that's what God was doing yesterday. God wanted this to come up to the surface so I could see it well enough and do something about it. And the rest of my day, you know, I was like, I feel good now. I would have been feeling guilty all day until I did something about it. So like if you're working somewhere and we see a lot of stuff, you see something, say something. Really serious. If you're working at a place and there's abuse, what are you know, you're tested. You're tested. You're being tested. It's no accidents or coincidences. What is going on? You're being tested. You have a choice. Are you going to report it and do the right thing, or are you going to fear losing your job? What is more important? Being a voice to help those out there so that it doesn't happen again and repeat itself? Or are you more concerned about the money and the job or the position that you're in, that you don't want to lose all that, you know, over helping somebody and be a voice to the voiceless? And I did the right thing. I felt amazing this morning. Of course, I had to go through a horrible experience explaining it, and it was triggering stuff, you know, but I wanted this lady to know that, hey, I love these homeless people. I do. I go the extra mile for these people. The other day there was a man that I found that was homeless, living off the streets in the woods somewhere, and I had 2 boxes and a bag of canned goods that I don't even eat this stuff. And I wanted to get it to the ones that really are in need, the ones that are out on the streets. And he said, hey, I know, I got people that I know that live out in the woods somewhere. It was like 4 minutes away for me to drive to get to that spot. He said, yeah, where that gas station is, right across the road, there's a dirt driveway there. And if you just drop it over there by that spot, you know. And I got so lucky. A guy actually came out of the woods, and I'm like, I felt like crap. I was like dead out of it that day. I was lifeless that day. I was doing this feeling like crap. My allergies, you know, I was worn out. I was just drained. But that's how much I love the homeless people. I love them so much. I love them like myself. I do. I love those people so much. And I only would love to do more. You know, is that there was a guy that came out of the woods, and I waved him out, you know, and he came over and he grabbed the last bag that I had, because I already went over there with a big box and another box of canned goods, you know. That's how much I love the people. So that whole mess is going to get solved. They're going to take care of that. That man, I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to discuss that with the church people, because that's how this goes, you know. Even if you say, hey, Starlight, I reported stuff before, and they never did shit. I hear you, because I've been sexual harassed I don't know how many times in my life. A pretty girl like me, a lot of people, they think, oh, I want to be pretty, I want to be beautiful, but you don't know what the price women or men have to pay for looking good. there's a price for that, you know. Women that are beautiful and men that are handsome, they go through hell. A lot of them do, not all of them, but they could go through a lot of hell, you know, because of what they look like. So be a voice to those out there that don't have a voice. I wanted to help those homeless people out, so this kind of shit doesn't happen to them by insulting women and saying crazy ass shit. So if you didn't watch that video from yesterday, I'm going to put the title down below, and if I can get the video to go on the screen, I will do that. I think I might be able to figure it out. I will have to Google it or YouTube it. So I love you, and I, you know, so it all starts. This is where abuse starts, right here. But it can end. It doesn't have to start here. But this is where a lot of babies, they go through stress so much, right here in the mommy. So if you see something, say something, make a report. And if they don't do something, find out who, you know. And that's what I didn't know when I worked for a company for the handicapped people. I didn't know that there was people in a high, you know, you got to kind of climb up, find out, you know, like, you know what, I'm not putting up with this stuff. This should not happen to these people. Because when you don't say shit about it, it just keeps on repeating. Those people, you know, they can get all kinds of crazy shit goes on behind scenes. It doesn't matter if they're handicapped people. It doesn't matter if they're elderly people or children. There's sick people out there, you know, that do crazy ass shit to people. So we could actually be a voice and do something about it. Or, you know, just walk away, or hey, I don't want to lose my job, I'm just going to stay here, just watch the stuff, you know. And but please don't do that. Please do the right thing by using your voice, you know. And you got to do that right away, the first opportunity. You know why? Because this is what happens. Our ego will start talking and say, oh, don't worry about it, Starlight, don't, you know. That's why when I woke up this morning, bam, before I did anything, I made that phone call. I was like, I'm taking care of this before I even read my Bible today. I'm going to take care of this because I know, oh, it wasn't that bad, Starlight. Bullshit. Things like that could start out that little and get worse. So anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, give me a thumbs up, and you can leave me a message down below, beep, beep, beep. Plus, you could share my videos with your family or friends, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my playlist. And you can also find me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman, Starlight. Thank you for watching. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight. Love, light, and peace.